We basically kind of reset it to a best-of-3 situation. It's a best-of-5 where our players are at 1-all. For those of you wondering whether Artosis or Kylaris have switched hemispheres recently, I'm actually casting with TT's Pig. Fantastic guy. Unfortunately, not chilling out with us in the tournament anymore, but so happy to have him behind the casting desk. So let's get into this game here, guys, where we are on Metropolis, and in the 6 o'clock position, we have, representing Western Wolves, Sting. And he's going to be facing off against the Zerg Menace in the 12 o'clock position. A lot on the line here. Can he advance? He needs to win 2 more. We have Yugioh.
And the map is going to be Metropolis. So this is a really interesting map. One I don't actually practice that much these days anymore, but it's so fascinating how it happens. I have a feeling we're going to see Ravens, because that's how the game tends to end up on Metropolis, with no one dying until an hour in.
That's true, actually. A lot of split map situations do just end up being Hunter-Seeker heaven. And I'll be honest, I feel a little bit of Terran satisfaction every time I see a whole bunch of those go off on some Broodlords.
Oh yeah, there's going to be probably new Karass, all sorts of awesome stuff. I hope it gets to that stage. I haven't actually seen
You're
one
very
of those
pro-Terran for someone who plays Zerg.
Well, I just like to give them hope before collecting their tears in my vial. So.
And we've got we do have a barracks out in the middle of the map, and well, you know how you said about this like super late game stuff that we might be seeing? I get the impression that these players aren't really on the same page.
No. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a really powerful build, obviously, this 11-11 Rax. We do see Yugioh not opting for that early drone scout, which we see some other Korean Zergs, such as Hyun, always opt for. Yeah. Yugioh likes to do a bit of a later scout, but this game he hasn't sent it. Oh, there it is. He has actually sent that drone out, and it is on the perfect path to find these.
Now it's a really interesting location for the 11-11 as well, and Yugioh's going, wait, hold on a second. Now this time, he sees the timing on the Rex, he's going, I think this is even faster than last time. He won't make the same mistake twice. Pool and gas going down immediately for our Zerg player. And the second Rax will finish as well, of course, because the other SCV is able to fend off the drone. And now the pressure begins in earnest.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hitting very, very fast with those barracks halfway across the map. That being said, there's still quite a decent distance, because Metropolis is just such a long, long map. What's interesting is Yugioh's throwing the gas down. He's opting for this sort of defense, where he has the option to do a quick counterattack. Now, is he going to contest the bunkers this game, or is he going to play it the same style as last game? I feel like he needs to pull drones down, but he hasn't done it already. And already bunkers are beginning at the bottom of his ramp.
Oh,
Yugioh seems to have a plan here. I'm worried that it's going to end up the same as last game, but if he's going through this same build again, this same thought process, I feel like his idea is, look, this time it's not Cloud Kingdom. He hasn't built his barracks at home where they can wall off. If I break out of this, I'm going to be able to counterattack and potentially take out the Terran, even if I'm on one base.
It might be possible, but Yugioh should know that a lot more SCVs are here than last game, because his scouting drone actually passed them en route here, and some of those SCVs were actually on attack move, so they followed the drone around for a bit. So he had plenty of notice, and he's going to try and do this only with Lings and a Queen. But this hatch is effectively set. There are 3 more SCVs now. We don't see more and more bunkers going down. So yeah, Sting isn't cementing his position like he did in that last game?
No, I think he realizes with his barracks halfway across the map, he actually pulled back 3 SCVs and said, hey, wait a second, you're not contesting this. I don't need more SCVs to repair and fight. He's pulling those home right now. He's still reinforcing with Marines, but I'm quite sure we are going to see him try to make some sort of wall-off very soon. I mean, he must know if the Zerg isn't contesting this, he's getting gas. And as a result, Sting's going to either need to evacuate and run back across the map or create some sort of wall-off at home. Either that or cement this position at the front. But whatever his decision, he needs to do it quickly. He can't afford to wait too long.
Oh, and these Lings, they were being pulled by Yugioh, but the Marines from Sting that aren't in the bunker are chasing them around. And this is very, very good for Sting. Yugioh wants to pull his Lings to a point where he can just bust out of here, but all the ones that popped at the natural just got cleaned up with exactly 0 damage taken by the bunker, and now Sting can move up to the high ground. He's got some Banelings morphing in here, but this was really not the situation he wanted himself to be in. Yugioh currently 15 worker supply to 20. Sting feeling okay. The Banelings should fix this for Yugioh.
But if Sting splits this really well, he may be able to hold on for another few seconds, but the Yugioh's not going to wait. He's going to break and burst down this ramp, taking out this bunker. The Marines pull out at the perfect timing, and look at that micro from Sting. Absolutely beautiful. beautiful spread from those Marines, and he's still got 10 Marines standing.
I think those Banelings killed 2 Marines in total. Yes, they damaged some other ones, but this is really not a situation he wants to be. He's down to 22 supply versus 32. Sting still has an SCV here, and that bunker is going to complete. We've reset the situation effectively, but Yugioh has no Banelings left.
Oh my god, this is just such a hard position. Yugioh, I think he's pretty much in the grave at this point. His supply is only about 7 or 8 behind, but he's just in such a hard position. He lost one of his queens. I mean, he's trying to hit this bunker from the high ground, but realistically, that's not going to get anything done. Sting's already got his command centers up. He's already got barracks building at home. Oh, nice surround on these Marines on the ramp.
Oh, that was clutch from Yugioh. He needed that. He absolutely, desperately needed that. He's trying to run by the bunker, will successfully do so with a handful of links. They don't have the greatest amount of health on them, though, and there are only 6 of them left. And we have 2 more barracks starting off back at home and 3 supply depots at the wall. So there's the wall you were talking about, Pick, a little earlier. Now, the links might be able to get through this because you can't repair a building that's obviously in progress, and he's going to see this and try and break that down. Will he eventually get through here?
It's going to be really, really close. It looks like they're going to finish just barely in time.
Oh, I stand corrected. The surface area isn't enough there, and it looks like Sting completely holds back at home. He also had 2 barracks just in case it didn't. And this aggression is just doing so much damage. Yugioh has got a spine up now, though.
He's doing a really good job as well, picking off these Marines in the middle of the map. He's doing an amazing job there, being cost efficient with what little he has. But it is too little, too late at this point. He's now on one base with only a grand total of 14 drones. He's using a spine crawler and a queen to break this siege, but by this stage the Terran doesn't even care about these bunkers there. They're just a delaying tactic at this point to get him further and further ahead. Basically, Sting has just played this Turax out perfectly, not being afraid and just splitting those Marines so perfectly against those Banelings, then getting this clutch wall-off down just in time. We're seeing Sting just take a almost unlosable position from here.
Sting could almost, of course, there are the Lings up there. I was wondering, could we see a potential, the Marines coming out and then a scan going off on the high ground to pick up the spine crawler or something, but he's going to lose the bunkers now. The Marines are probably going to go down with them. Again, good micro from him, just trying to maximize the value out of it. And finally, Yugioh gets his natural expansion down, guys, at the 10-minute mark of this game. Sting has his natural down already. He's got a tech lab finishing up on one of those barracks in his main base. Combat shields is starting, which is a great choice because he wants to get as many units out to fend off the counterattack as quickly as possible because he knows that Yugioh is likely to try and just push everything he has at him, so he doesn't want to be spending all his resources attempting to tech up to those medevacs super quick.
Absolutely, but little does he know, Yugioh is the most patient Zerg of them all, and I think he's actually just going to try to rebuild his economy from this situation, which is, I'm laughing because it's just going to be so hard. How is he going to actually be able to do this? It's really, really... It's going to be a situation where I feel Sting knows the power of aggression once he's ahead. He's probably not going to add too many reactors. I mean, he's got 6 barracks up now. He's probably just going to push out with combat shields. Even if that doesn't finish Yugioh off, he'll then push out again with Stim. He'll probably add his signature double factory again, and then push out with a few siege tanks. But I very much doubt Yugioh is going to be able to survive that long. Yugioh, though, I mean, if anyone knows how to fight their way back, it's Yugioh. He's taking a 3rd hatchery already.
This is huge, Pig. We actually saw an Overlord try and come into the natural to scout. It got taken out, but then Yugioh was supply blocked, and he didn't even have an Overlord started. So he is stuck on 40 supply now, and Sting is at 70 and counting. He's getting supply, but just for a second or two, but we probably won't see anything major until 89, if anything is to go by. But he's just looking really, really good at this point. He's starting Stim now. Combat shields is complete. He has got a reactor down on one of those barracks, so he will be able to pump up Marines 8 at a time here. And if Yugioh does actually do what you say he might, where he's just trying to get back on level footing, well, the production from Sting is going to go through the roof.
Absolutely. I mean, this first push, all it needs to do is trade with the Zerg player. Yugioh needs to get us around here. He needs to get some sort of beautiful engage before those Marines can split. But they're off creep now. He's already pre-splitting them, spreading them out really, really nicely. Oh, and these Banelings don't know where to go. They're running through, and the Marines are just running in circles around them. The Zerglings are going to manage to barely clean it up, but these Marines have already killed off so many Banelings. All that gas, that important tech from Yugioh taken down for just minerals from Sting, who has this massive economy rolling already. His third CC is almost finished, and you might look at the minimap and say, but the Zerg has 3 bases, but then you bring up the drone count and know that he can barely saturate 2 of those bases.
Exactly.
His economy is down in the dumps right now, and so we are going to see it just a really, really kind of scrappy attempt to get back in the game from Yugioh. Just building more and more drones for the moment, adding on a few more gases. He's just going to try to go for this big Zergling Baneling hold, I believe. His creep spread's really impressive. So that's something he's definitely got going for him.
The problem is Yugioh has spent a lot of energy, really, just getting his economy back on track. He is ahead in workers 56 to 51 at the moment, but then Sting is doing everything right with his tech. Stim is about to finish. Siege mode is about to finish. He's getting +1 armor as well. That's about to finish. Additional gases. He's getting more reactors on the way, so his production's going to be even higher than it is now. And his army size is just going to balloon. I mean, he currently has more than twice the army size of Yugioh, and that difference is only going to get bigger because the tech's about to finish and he's going to start full-on production.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see that happen in the very near future. Obviously, a big problem for Yugioh right now. No upgrades as well. And, coming in with these Zerglings, going to nab those Marines nicely, pick off 1 or 2 Marines, and then pulling back before the rest can close in on him. He's kind of pulling out his really nice Ling Bane control, trying to make sure he only engages when he's got a good situation. But the Lair's just about to finish up. He's going to need that Baneling speed to continue this, and he's actually adding a lot of gas. So maybe he's going to go into that Infestor play, which he really likes.
And we'll see what he chooses to do with this Lair. I mean, really, at this point, he just needs to be very, very cost efficient, no matter what he goes, because he needs some sort of foothold to latch onto, to say, okay, this is a weakness in my opponent's game that I can try and exploit. Maybe I can use X or Y to just slow him down, or if not slow him down, to keep his attention diverted while I sort out my army composition. We have a drop coming into the main. It is being tracked, though, by a queen and a bunch of lings. I just don't see what that opening could be for Yugioh, though. This tank Marine push is looking so formidable.
And with this drop coming in, he's not watching. He's distracted, trying to get his units in position, and his Zerglings aren't underneath it. He's instead engaging the front, but the Marines are already pre-spread, using so many Banelings just to take out 1/4 of Sting's Marine force. Already Marines in the back of Yugioh's natural, taking down so many drones, and he's just pushing in for the kill. All of these slow Banelings looking helpless against the impeccable micro of Sting.
You couldn't have said it better, Pig. I mean, look at this. The siege tanks are up now outside the third base. Nobody's getting out of here. The rocks aren't even complete. The Zerglings are desperately trying to get out, saying, let me out! But the siege tanks are saying, absolutely not. Now, Sting needs to be careful not to overextend. You don't want a situation where you just come straight in with all his lings and, oh, herb derp, my tanks are actually dead. This is frustrating.
Absolutely.
So you need to be careful.
And that window is actually, for Yugioh to engage it, is closing. There's a big force of reinforcements coming, but if he can get in before they go, then he can do it. He's going to be able to break this contain quite cost efficiently. The Banelings are being targeted down so efficiently, though. And this reinforcing wave is so powerful. 8 Marines at the very front of the battle just ended up surviving that. The Banelings walked right past them, and Sting is just going to do the killing blow now. Walking into the natural, that drop just kept picking off so many drones. We see Yugioh's economy is just ravaged, morphing a few last emergency Banelings, and these Marines are just coming in for the win.
Yeah, well, good micro and well done on the timing there from Yugioh for picking apart the tanks. I think that much has to be said. Sting simply had too many Marines to back that up, and we saw his production. He's still making 8 at a time. GG, and Sting, after going down, moves 2-1 up and is now 1 game away from bringing home the bacon.
Oh, yeah. Bring home the bacon. I mean, that's just the best thing you can do when you're winning.
It's pretty tasty, man.
Oh, yeah. The best meat out.